Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Saturday morning, and I know everybody's pumped about this because Saturday morning is the day that the markets are all closed, and I go through every comment from the Friday before video. So yesterday's video, I'm going to read through every comment. We're going to talk a little bit about the comments briefly, and if you have a question, that's your opportunity to get your question answered on a Friday video. Throughout the week, I do end up also reading a lot of the comments and try to answer as best I can in a quick little comment back to you. However, if I really like the comment, a lot of times I will do it in the form of a video where it is one of our gold and silver end of the week kind of, or I shouldn't say end of the week, gold and silver wrap up. I'm trying to come up with a new name for these because I don't really have a solid name. I just got them as short videos just so people can get the fundamentals. Really the stuff that people should understand and already know, but a lot of people don't entirely know. And that's good that we're trying to answer those questions, because I think once you have the firm fundamentals of what's going on, you don't fall for these little tricks that they pull on you. What kind of tricks am I talking about? I'm talking about tricks like when you see the silver drop from $84 all the way down to 69 bucks. And you think, oh, this is the bottom. It tapped 69, then it started climbing, then it tapped 69 again, and then it started climbing again, and then they tried bringing it down again, but it started climbing again, and now we're already back up to 80. And remember what I said. By Wednesday, the 15th, that's in just 6 days from now, and the next 2 days the markets are closed, I would not be surprised to see a new all-time high again. And when that happens, keep in mind, within a day or two, maybe even the same day, you are going to see another nice jump move even higher. I ended up citing that on, what day was it? Where was it? Wasn't that one? I don't even remember which day it was. I even put the date in there. Why can't I find it now? Oh, right here, January 15th. This was my prediction literally like a week ago. I said, don't worry, everybody. We'll be back up there on January 15th. And here we are getting close to it. So I'm super excited because some people actually commented on that video and said, I don't know how you're picturing that. We're almost at $69 again. And you're thinking we're going to be back at 84 and then breaking through it. It's getting exciting. And so we're going to talk today. We're going to answer everybody's questions. We're probably going to, there's going to be some reason that I'm going to get to talk about this chart right here and how you can kind of see when it goes too high, that's due for a little bit of a pullback. But when it goes too low, it's due for a jump. And right now, we are still set to go a little bit higher. I think we're going to be right around the $84 mark this week at some point. I'm thinking it's going to be Wednesday. And here's the thing. Once we break these two tops right here, we got one here, we got one here. Once we break this area again, that's it. People are going to see the cup and handle formation clear as day. And when they see that, that is it. We are going to see the price just, I believe, outright climb. And a lot of people are just going to have missed the boat. And you know what? I'm going to just say it. Everyone complaining that $80 is too high will be wishing for this day when we hit triple-digit numbers. And I do believe triple-digit numbers are coming sooner than a lot of you think. But it's hard to see that because we've never seen it before. But we're seeing it in a lot of different countries around the world. People are willing to pay higher and higher premiums to get their hands on silver. So with that being said, we're going to jump right in. Like I said, every Saturday we like to answer all the comments from the Friday video. If you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me. I don't know how long it will go. We will go until we've answered every comment. So please, if you have a comment you want to ask, go ahead and put it on a Friday video. Hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave me a comment. And if you're not subscribed, please help me out. Do the ultimate thing. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel. We're doing 2 a day for you. I'm doing my long form videos in the morning, and I'm doing quick 10-minute videos in the evening just because a lot of people out there don't want to watch a 30, 40-minute video. So that's why we're doing the short videos in the evening, and we're doing the fundamentals. If anybody has any ideas on what I can label these fundamentals videos, I don't know. Maybe I'll just label them fundamentals of gold and silver. Just try to get catchy. I've been using the same thumbnail, but I want to come up with something new, so I'm thinking about how to do it. With that being said, let's jump in and get started on these comments. Right off the bat, Joe putting the thumbs up for his comment. Thank you so much, Joe. I really do appreciate that. Next one, Buffalo Silver. Well, I will keep stacking and investing, but my family thinks I am crazy, and that is a waste of money. This includes my wife, but she has no idea about investing in anything. I tried with my 3 boys, no interest. One of them does know spot, and he knows I am putting it away for them, but they will probably just sell it down the road. So first of all, I totally understand. It is hard. You have to almost start these kids nowadays at a young age to get them into gold and silver. I am really lucky that mine has gotten into it. He's actually gotten a lot of his friends into it, which is kind of crazy that he's broke through to his friends, and even some of his friends will reach out to me now and be like, hey, if you see any good deals on anything, will you hook me up? And I'm like, I'll keep my eye open for you. And they don't pick up a lot. They just try to pick up an ounce or two a week. One of the kids, he's investing in something where he sends money every payday to a company, and the company will put it away until he has enough to get an ounce of gold. I told him I'm against that idea, because what generally happens is the gold price keeps going further down the line, and if he was just to buy a little bit, at least the little bit that he puts in now will start going up in price. You can always trade it all in and get a big 1 ounce coin if you want later, but you probably wouldn't really want to do that. So either you get eaten up by the high premiums on the little stuff, or you get eaten up by them taking your money and investing it now, and then your finish line to get your ounces of gold keeps moving further back. But I personally wouldn't even want gold at this point, not when you have silver really ramping up. I think silver is going to really outshine gold in percentages. I do think we have another big jump coming ahead of us. I was reading something about Bank of America thinking that gold is going to get up to $4,550 and silver is going to hit $300 and something dollars. Here's the thing. If silver goes to $300 and something dollars, there is no way in my mind that I think gold is going to just sit there and go up $50 in the meantime while silver goes up $225. Gold is going to continue going up, maybe at like 1% here and there, and silver is going to keep going up, maybe at 3 or 4% here and there, with nice pullbacks here and there, but then a jump even higher. But some people just aren't going to understand that, and it's sad when you said your wife is not in on it, the kids aren't in on it, friends, family don't like it. Here's the thing, though. They're going to firmly understand real soon, and that's really where this meme right here comes in. If I can find it real quick. Let's see here. I'm going to kind of fly through because I know what it looks like instantly when I see it. If I can find it. It's coming. And 3, 2, 1. It should already came up. And go figure, I can never find something when I need it. Let's see, the my silver, our silver joke that's been going around online, and I'm not going to get to find it because I'm looking for it. You can never find stuff when you want it. It should be right here. Somebody took it down. Someone probably got offended and took it down. Oh, no. Driving me nuts when I can't find something and I need it. My pleasure. Oh, it should be right here. Where did it go? I know a lot of y'all seen it. I showed it in the video the other day. Nope, I'm not going to find it. Okay, I guess I give up. I thought I would find it pretty quick, but chances are I probably already passed it and it didn't load in time. I'm going to give it one more on the way back up real quick. Like I said, these videos go usually a little longer than most. Darn it, I can never find the meme when I need it. to get it. And that's it. I give up. Basically, if you remember seeing the meme on the channel, it was it had a husband and a wife sitting there, and at first she's like, "You and your silver, what a waste." And then, the next picture, it has her giving him a big hug, and it says, "Oh, look at our silver collection. We're so smart." And that's kind of how I think you're going to feel pretty soon when silver really does break out. You're going to have her on your side. But it's kind of hard at first. I understand. Mine was not a firm believer in this at all when I was with her. Nobody believes silver. Even when it started going up a little bit, I would get told, even a blind squirrel will find a nut eventually. If you say something long enough, you're going to be right, of course. But you know what? Here's the thing. I'd rather be early than late. Because if you're early, you have time to acquire. If you're late, you still have time to acquire at $80 an ounce. And you might get lucky and catch some of these $70 dips, and maybe you'll find someone letting some go at spot. But a lot of people are just having a hard time now to even stack silver. So we'll see how it plays out. But, you just got to hang in there. Stay tough. I certainly don't want to tell you worst case scenario, she leaves you and then silver explodes to $400 or $500 an ounce. It could happen, though. I have seen that play out like that. So, but hopefully that won't happen. Nunya, how's it going? Don't sell. Pass it down to your children and grandchildren. Absolutely. I rarely ever sell stuff, but I do sell, I pick up a lot of stuff. And I don't sell it per se, but sometimes I'm picking up stuff for friends because I get a better deal if I pick up a bigger order. It cuts out my shipping. It cuts out, I get a group discount in the sense of if you're buying 20 ounces, it's a whole lot cheaper than if you're just going to buy a couple. And when the package comes in, I get to open it up, show it off online, or do a video of it all, and then I distribute it out to the people that it belongs to. Let's see. Thoughts on jewelry. So I have talked about this so many times, Tyler. I love jewelry. Let's see. Tyler's saying, thoughts on jewelry. I've been finding 9.25 jewelry at local donated store. I don't know if stuff so they hang them up for pennies on the melt value. I buy it all. Okay, so so I see where you're going. So that jewelry is 925, and it's 0.925 because it's 92% silver and 7.5% alloy. And you can find some really good deals if you know what you're looking at. Be very careful, though. A lot of stuff might look like silver, but understand how to test it. I've even brought in an acid test, and I've scratched stuff on a stone right there to check the purity levels. But if you know what you're looking at, you can usually get some really good deals. A lot of times stuff gets donated. Around me, we have professionals that work in these stores, and they know exactly what they're looking at. But the places that don't have professionals, not everybody is a professional that's doing this. Some people, they don't understand what they're looking at. You might see a set of silverware go up there. You would think they would know, but they don't always know. Let's see here. If gold vanished tomorrow, finance would wobble. If silver vanished tomorrow, civilization would stop. So, Mike, we would have some issues if gold vanished, but if silver vanished, pretty much all technology as we know it would come to a standstill. What happened to a fiat financial system when the only metal that modern technology cannot function without also happens to be the most manipulated and paper leveraged commodity on earth? That's exactly true. There is so much manipulation still to this day in the silver markets. I was actually just reading something here, right here on Wall Street Reddit group. I use this a lot. If you're not on Wall Street Silver, I would strongly recommend getting in, but this was it right here. Update. So for those of you that don't know, this is a CME chart. It basically breaks down the amount of contracts that are set for delivery or the amount of contracts from month to month. And this comes out every month. It's public record. And update, 33,450,000 ounces of silver leaving the COMEX. That's 6,690 contracts of silver at 5,000 ounces in each contract. January. But note, December 2025, 64,730,000 ounces left the COMEX registered. That's 12,946 contracts. APES, that's 98,180,000 ounces of silver in just over a month. Is the COMEX breaking massively? Those of you that don't know APES, that's kind of a joke, because when this all started, a lot of people said you would have to be a trained ape to be investing in silver. They got no clue what's going on. They're basically monkeys buying silver. And a lot of the Reddit group jumped on that comment and have since started making memes and jokes and stuff using apes as their kind of mascot. That's why if you follow us on Reddit, Discord, you will see that I will put up a lot of ape memes. Sometimes I'll even put a hidden silverback gorilla. So you can see the gorilla right here working. They use that because they're silverback gorillas, and two, they want to say a trained monkey knows how to buy silver and invest in silver. That's fine. Obviously, the smart bankers don't. That's why they are betting against it. And lately, they've been taking big losses. And I really think that China is assisting in pushing the price of silver up for two reasons. One, because they need it for their industry. If they don't have silver, they understand that things are going to get ugly. And they understand that U.S. banks are heavily leveraged against silver. They are betting big time against it. What is going to happen if silver goes up in price? They are going to lose huge amounts of money. And if they lose big, what is going to happen next? Is government going to bail them out and push our national debt even higher? Or are they going to do a bail-in and just take the depositors' money, your money, and do a bail-in for the bank? Either way, it's going to cause a lot of problems here in the country, and I'm convinced that that is what China's goal is at the end of the day, and it is to get as much silver as they can because they need it. They need it for their economy, so we'll see what happens. Great comment, Mike. Let's see, Mike, again, regret of neglected opportunity is the worst hell that a living soul can inhibit. Charles Dickens. So yeah, a lot of people are going to regret that they did not take advantage of cheap silver prices when they had a chance. And there's people even in the room that I think are going to regret it. And, maybe you've sold some of your stack and maybe you still have some, but it's still a little stressful when the price keeps going up and up and up. And who knows? I think a lot of people will regret it. I like the next comment coming. Not this one. The one after that, I'm going to get to it in a minute because I can already see it out of the corner of my eye what it's going to say. Was getting 10 ounces per month. Now it's 3 ounces. Even a drip fills a bucket. So that's actually a good comment too, and I'll tell you why. A lot of people feel that 1 ounce a week is not enough. They feel like they're stuck. They're not going to go anywhere. But you have to understand, even a small amount of ounces. I knew a kid that he did 1 silver dime a day. He didn't have much money. A silver dime was only $1.40. But because he was a patient kid, he would go in every single day. Or if he missed days, he would put the money aside. And then when he made it in, he would get, 3 or 4 of them. And the coin shop was really cool with him. he would always work with the kid and try to help him stack. And that's easy to do when a silver dime is only $1.40. Maybe even get it at spot price. And as time went on, he kept doing this for years and years and years. And that kid has probably a ton of silver now. And here's the thing, those dimes now are $6 a piece. They're up 4x. If he had saved in dollars like his parents had told him, just put the money in a bank account instead of buying coins, then he would have a quarter of what he has now. And so you have to understand where that's going. Every little bit does make a difference. You wouldn't think a silver dime a day would add up, but it does. This next one is the one that Faceless Silver Stacker. What is up? Hey, T, I remember when you bought quite a few of those certified funnel web spiders. They are now selling for like $95 on eBay. That was a great deal. So, yeah, that wasn't even the greatest part of that deal. I'll tell you how that deal actually went down. Some of y'all may remember that. Some of you won't. So I ended up basically buying the certified funnel web spiders. Got a super awesome deal. Came out to like $37 a piece, I think. And here's the exception. I had to buy 100 of them. So a block of 100. Now that stings. That's $3,700. However, I split that up with people. And I said, hey, look, I'm thinking about ordering a big order of these certified spiders. Do you want to go in with me and you'll get them at like $37 a piece? But I said, you got to pay up front. I'm going to get them and I'll give them to you. I'm not going to make a penny off of it. And that's it. But on the side, I negotiated with the guy that sold them. He had 2,000 of them, 4 monster boxes worth of them things. And he was sick of them. He still has some online, I think, to this day. Needless to say, I said, I'll tell you what, I'll take 100 if you give me, 50 certified eagles at the same price. I don't care what certified eagles they are. And I didn't even say eagles. I said they had to be certified coins. 1 ounce silver certified coins. They can be NGC, PCGS. They had to be certified coins, which means it had to be either a maple, a Britannia, an eagle, anything that comes from a mint. And he said, I can't do 50. That's way too many. He goes, I'll tell you what, I'll do 25. And I said, I'll take it. I'll take the 25. So I ended up having to get 75 spiders, 25 mix. Now, when those mix came in, the majority of them, they were certified eagles from kind of common years. But it's still a certified eagle, and it's not super common, I shouldn't say, because, they were mostly, this is the 25th anniversary, this is the 30th anniversary, whatever. So I guess I won't say necessarily common. However, the deal that I made with everybody else was for the spiders. And so when I ended up giving people their spiders and the eagles, I ended up getting to keep for myself. But here's the thing. I did that like 3 times in a row. So that was super awesome. Now, I did end up having to keep a bunch of spiders too. But I ended up getting to keep the majority of their eagles. Now, they did go down over time. Towards the end of that deal, I only got, I think it was like 10 in the last order, but he did tell me that's the last time he could do it anyway, because we were starting to see spot price move up to that $37 level, and I was super happy with that. All the people that got some were super happy, and so it was a pretty good deal essentially for everybody, and I'm happy with that. And you're right, it was an awesome opportunity because now $37 for a certified eagle, certified spider, certified whatever. We gave a bunch away on the channel for giveaways. That was pretty cool too. So great comment. And you just brought back a good memory when you said that. Because I forget what all I have. I have a bunch of stuff in my storage unit, and I don't even keep count. Some people tease me like, dude, you should at least know what you got. Nope. I don't need to know. What's it going to do? It's going to tempt me to want to sell it. I could already have that goal, maybe enough to get where I want to go in life, and I don't even know it. But here's the thing. I know that it's going to keep going up in price, and so I don't really stress too much about it. Let's see, Karen. Hey, T, as soon as I'm done watching your video, I'm going to call that number from Universal Coin and ask for Chris Tribble. I like their prices. Awesome. Hopefully you called them. So you put that comment up 11 hours ago. He is a super nice guy. I'm sure he's got a comment on this video. Super nice. Only open Monday through Friday, though, so you can only call Monday through Friday. But asking for him, you're definitely going to get taken care of. He really does take care. Some people have told me, they're like, I doubt it. You know, I was like, you believe what you want. He tends to really take care of subscribers. If you're ordering from anybody online, my opinion, personally, just me, I think he is by far the best to deal with. Now, are there going to be deals that are better than his at a resale shop, a pawn shop? Here's the thing. You go to some of these places, they don't know what they got. They're just an employee. They buy something. Maybe they're sitting on it for a while. Resale shops, I mean, ultimately, if you go to a resale shop and they get some silver in and they don't know what they got, that's where you can buy some awesome stuff. I had a buddy of mine ask me if I would check a 2-ounce coin. And he's like, I go, what'd you buy it for? He goes, $10. I said, are you serious? He goes, yeah, but it's not silver. But I just want to double check it anyway because it looked kind of like silver. It felt like silver. And I said, let's check it. I said, why do you say it's not silver? He said, because they told me it's not silver. And it doesn't say 999 silver on the coin. I said, that's because it's an old coin. It's from the 70s. Back then, silver was so cheap in the early 70s, they didn't put silver. It didn't matter. It was just a coin to them. Just like you don't put copper on a coin nowadays because copper is cheap. But someday, copper will be expensive, and someone's going to look, and they'll actually eventually start writing on copper coins, 1-ounce copper. They don't do that now because copper doesn't have really any value. But needless to say, I put it on the machine. I said, it's silver, bro. That is 2 ounces of 999 silver. And he could not believe it. He's like, $10. I said, yeah, that's a big score, dude. So he's super happy. But overall, from anybody that you're probably going to buy from, I personally like dealing with him the best. He's given me a lot of great deals. He's given the subscribers of the channel a lot of great deals. Do they sometimes call you? I've had some people. Do they email you? Yes. I get emails from them on a regular basis. A new coin comes out, I get an email. Some special rare Privy Mart coin comes out and they got some, I might get a phone call. And I just simply say, I'm not interested in that time if I'm not. Sometimes, though, I am interested. I got a call one day, the Gold Britannia, I don't know what they call it, Liberty Britannia. It had Liberty, and then when you spin it, it had the Britannia on it. But it was the Britannia version, not the American version. And I ended up getting a super deal. It's like $10 over spot when it first came out. I was like, what? Heck yeah. And so that was a great deal. I still have that. Let's see here. Calvin, great video. Thank you so much, my friend. Hope you have a great day. Wes Stefan, how's it going, buddy? I see videos from the Fun Coin Show. I saw a video today about that. I think it was Silver Dragons on SD Bullion. That had a clip in there from it. I don't know what the Fun Coin Show is, but there was a lot of people. And they are all excited that there is a line of over 500 people waiting to get in. San Diego Comic-Con had over 130,000 people waiting to get in. It seems like coin shows are going the way of the dodo bird. Your thoughts? Yeah, so I won't be surprised to see if big coin shows actually surpass a Comic-Con at some point in the future. And here's why I say that. So Comic-Cons, yes, extremely difficult to even get a ticket to it, and the lines are atrocious. My son is a huge comic fan, and we've talked about going to that, but I told him, dude, I ain't got the patience for that. You know, he'd have a better chance at me buying him a ticket and not going, because I don't like that amount of lines. However, coin shops or coin shows, think about what's going to happen when people see the real gains in silver. More people are going to want to get in on this. And when they do, you're going to see coin shows start popping up everywhere. I've actually considered trying to organize a coin show in the surrounding areas, somewhere where I'm at. Some of y'all may know, some of you don't know where I'm at, but I actually thought about trying to organize a coin show and charging for booths and getting all the coin stores all the way up from Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Houston, to try to get booths, and even individual people out there that want to sell their stack, promote what's going on, and kind of see how it plays out. There'll be a lot of good opportunities if something like that was to happen. So who knows? Coin shows, you have a lot of good opportunities. If you know what you're doing and you understand how to negotiate, you understand what you're looking for, and you're willing to take silver that other people don't want, there's a lot of good opportunities out there. So definitely, I think we're going to see coin shows really take off and do even better. Back above $80 an ounce as I listen late this morning. Have a great weekend, my friend. Yes, GE Techs, you're absolutely right. We are seeing silver price start breaking out, and I would expect next week is going to be a really exciting week. A lot of people don't know. Well, I don't want to say that yet because I already know for sure there is a comment coming up. Because I read some of these comments briefly this morning when I had gotten up and skimmed through them. But I don't like to put the thumbs up or the heart or answer them because then they hide them from me when I do this event, this show. So I don't want to say that just yet, what I was about ready to say, because I know someone's going to ask me in the comments, what makes you think that next week is going to be back up to a new all-time high? So we're going to get to that in just a minute. Selling all your precious metals, especially silver, is like selling your ammo because you believe the price of ammo is going to go down. That's absolutely right. It doesn't even make sense. Even if you think silver is going to go down in price, you have to understand when the silver prices go down drastically, either companies stop selling or the premiums drastically go higher. So will you even be able to replace it if the price comes down? But here's the thing. I don't think we're going to see another major drop down. We might see a tiny little pullback on Sunday night, but I don't even think that's going to happen. I think we're going to see Sunday night the silver price start going up. Monday it will go up again a little bit more. Tuesday it will go up a little bit more. And then Wednesday we'll have a breakout day with the new all-time high. And I said that early on, and I still stand by that. Could I be off by a little bit? Maybe. If I'm off, does it matter? I'm not selling. And I don't think many of you are selling. So if I am wrong by a little bit, I'm certainly not going to worry about it because silver is doing a great job holding its position. Does it come down a little bit? Yes. But as a whole, it continues to climb. So Silver Lover, how's it going? Hope you're having a great night. Silver plus $100 permanently in the coming years. Some key properties of silver. Let me expand this real quick. Silver is conductive. Silver conducts heat and electricity better than any other metal. Silver is most reflective metal out there at any wavelength spectrum. Silver tarnishes and produces beautiful color patterns, which no other metal on Earth can match. Ooh, I got to tell you a story about that in just a minute. Silver has antibacterial properties, so it kills bacteria quickly. This is why they use to gift silver spoons to babies. I didn't know that, actually. To keep their new teeth healthy. That's good to know. I want to get a silver spoon now and use it. I had some, but then I got rid of them. I ended up trading them to someone for actual ounces, but now maybe I want a silver spoon. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see here. The tarnishing aspect that you wrote. So I actually got, when I was newer to stacking, I don't like tarnishing. I don't like how sometimes coins turn blackish or they change color. However, this one time I had ordered our choice silver eagles. You get what you get. and that's it. No guarantees. The only guarantee you get is that they will be real American Silver Eagles, and they were cheaper than your average Silver Eagle because they were Kohl's or Our Choice. They could have been beat up, whatever. I opened up the package of, I think it was a tube, maybe 2 tubes of them, and they had this weird rainbow coloring over every one of them, and I was so mad. I opened it live on camera. I could probably find the video if I looked back far enough, but I was so mad about it. And as I put up the video, I'm talking about it, why I don't like it, but why I buy them. I buy them because, I mean, shoot, if you can get silver almost at spot and it's a Silver Eagle, who cares what it looks like at the end of the day? It's about ounces that matter. And the next morning, I got up and I read through the comments, and there must have been 100 comments on the video saying, do you want to sell them? I would buy them. I would love to purchase that from you. Do you want to sell them? Sell, 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 sell. And I didn't sell them. I actually kept them for a couple reasons. One, I don't really like selling where I got to ship stuff in the mail because I don't trust the mail system. Too much stuff has gone wrong. That's why now whenever I mail someone's package, I got to insure it. I got to track it. I got to do all this crazy stuff. I've been relatively lucky. I had someone in Australia win 2 separate times silver. Both times she got it. So that was awesome. But in general, I don't like shipping because anything can happen. So I'm certainly not going to sell something and then ship it. It's something I just don't like to do. Now, when I meet up with people I sell, needless to say, I still have them. I need to dig them out because I had someone else ask me about that a little while back, that stuff is super popular. And people go for it. So, yeah, but you're absolutely right, Silver Lover. A lot of great points there. Kat, how's it going? Hello, T. Thank you so much for commenting. I know some people don't like to put a comment when it's small. Even something as small as hello, T, or good morning, it helps out the algorithm and it helps me out. One, it's positive. It means I know that you're watching. So I do love seeing that. I thank you very much. Richard, good morning. Thank God it's Friday. Thank you so much. You're right. I'm glad it's Friday too. Although my weekends stay busy. My every day is busy, especially because this weekend I want to try to get up 3 of our mini series. So I'd like to get up episode 8, 9, and 10. So 8 would go up tonight. Tomorrow morning would be 9, and Sunday night would be 10 is my goal. And that would put us essentially only 1 episode back on the year. So right now it's the 9th. We've got 7 episodes already up. I'd like to have at 365 on the last day of the year and have episode 365 and see how it does. And it's easy. Once you start watching that series, it's addicting. Some of y'all are going to want to go binge watch it because it's a lot of fundamentals in there and good information. Let's see. Good morning. Let's see. Chris. Okay. This, I think, might be the comment. Maybe. I can't remember. Actually, no, I don't think it was Chris that wrote. I think it was the next one. It was Hothead that wrote it. Chris, would love to hear how long your subscribers have been stacking metals and why/how they dove in. I started as a kid in the late 60s. And Ernest right after the towers. Oh, and Hardest right after the towers came down. For me, it was listening to Robbie Knoll and Bob Chapman. Then I stumbled across Mike Malone. Incredible series on the hidden secrets of money. Yes, I've actually watched all of those. I liked them up until the end. I didn't like the last ones. The last ones when they started talking about crypto and he kind of promoted crypto a little bit. I didn't like that series anymore. But the beginning, it started really good. I'll be honest, that actually was part of the inspiration that got me to do these mini series that I believe will really help people with the fundamentals of silver. P.S. Just check JM Bullion Silver inventory. This is all they have left. Crazy. 1937 proof Walking Liberty $0.50. NGC PF 68, $6,175. Wow, I'm not really sure if that means they don't have anything, because I would be shocked if they don't have anything. But I'm convinced a lot of people will piggyback on that comment and maybe tell you a little bit about their story, because the next comment that replied to it said, I dabbled in stocks and cryptos. I made some money on the Dow Jones trading, DJT, but only enough to cover losses from other things. Crypto is BS, as at least with a stock, you have a claim to a fraction of an actual asset. For those that don't know, aka the building, the revenue, the equipment, that type of stuff. I started seeing videos for Ron's Basement, then Salivate Metals, then Silver Slayer. They are not my taste in channels. Now I watch T, Yankee, and Mineko. Anyways, I bought my first ounce from a local dealer at $23 plus $2 premium in October of 24. I buy as often as I can afford it, and I have not had full-time employment since March 20th. Since March 20. So it has been slow, but I'm happy with my progress, and that's really the key. The key is consistency. Now, one thing you can do that I've talked to people that do this, they will sometimes try to flip stuff. Once you understand how to find the deals, you can actually try to sell favorable stuff. Like I had said the other day, maybe you've got 4 Privy Mark ounces, and you're willing to take 5 regular Silver Eagles for them. Whatever the case may be, there's a lot of opportunity out there to kind of pick up stuff and wheel and deal with it. Okay, this one is the one I think a lot of you guys will really like too. Okay, but the Fed meeting isn't until the end of the month. I'm still looking for a reason silver will be back above $82 by the 15th. Can you please tell me why? So, hot-headed silver. I knew this comment was coming, and I already know exactly what I was going to say for the answer. I almost started writing it early this morning, but I did not want to write it. So, a lot of people, they look at the daily chart every single day. People are looking at the daily chart. And what people don't understand, we're going to go out a month, per se. Generally, you will have a new all-time high, like we saw here at $64. Then you get some sort of a major pullback. We just had $64 at this point in time on the chart. This is a 1-month chart that I pulled up. Now, you have a huge paper contract amount hit the market. Pushes the silver all the way down from 64 to 55. But people get freaked out. People automatically sell because their stop losses kick in. And here's the thing. It was on an uptrend. When you have manipulation that's artificially pushing something down, or when everything should be going up and all of a sudden it's being manipulated down. I'm sorry, I'm just looking to see what was going on in the corner. My 2 dogs are over there. They're just trying to shuffle the blanket around. So when you have manipulation, you're manipulating something. That's the beach ball underwater that I always use, that analogy. Beach ball does not belong underwater. It belongs on the surface. Naturally, the water wants to push the beach ball back up. Naturally, the demand for silver wants to push it back up. But force selling takes effect because people stop loss orders. And people get freaked out and they sell silver because they start seeing it drop. They want to hurry up and get in before it goes too low. As that selling slows down, you start to see it continue to climb back up. You see it hit that top again, and then generally you see it try to come back down. That's more manipulation of them selling paper or the people that didn't get to sell in time sell. Then you start seeing it want to go back up again. Once you break that spot, usually by the third time, a lot of the sellers in that $64 range have sold. Then you get that initial big jump because people realize what happened, and then you start seeing a climb higher. What we seen was we hit $84, or I should say $83.70, and then people wanted to sell. $84, let's be honest, if you got in at 15, 20, 25, 85 looks like big profits for you. So people go to sell. And what happens? That stuff is flooding into the refineries. People are selling contracts to push it down. It is fighting it, as we saw from $84 down to 75, then it popped up to 80, and then it continued on down again. And then it got as low as $69 and change. We've seen it go up again. As it goes up again, more people want to sell. Once you start calculating the time between tip to tip or peak to peak, and then each time that it hits that peak again, it takes less time to get back up to that peak. So when I did the math on that, I estimated that we should hit that peak again right around the 15th of next week. Now, could I be wrong? Yes, you can't predict this stuff to a science. There's no exact way to predict it. You can only estimate. Why? Because maybe there's big players out there that haven't sold their stack yet. And I know some people are going to be like, nobody has that much impact. It's not a matter of one person selling their stack. It's a matter of the mentality that the price has peaked that pushes a lot of silver into the refineries. And essentially, when they get backlogged, you see naturally the price does slow down. If they get backlogged and they're making deliveries, it gives them a little bit more control. And here's the thing, it dries up quick because there are people that will not sell at $84. And we're seeing it as the price comes back up and they try to beat it down again. It cannot go down as far and it cannot go down as long. So each gap from peak to peak gets shorter and shorter until eventually you pop and there's no one left to sell that's willing to sell. And when I say sell, I don't just mean the kid at the coin store selling a few ounces. I mean even your big paper traders. Big paper traders, they sell when it gets up to 84 because they think we are approaching some kind of a peak. But that's because they don't understand the fundamentals of silver. And that's kind of why I really think it's important that people watch that fundamental series of gold and silver. And we're answering questions that a lot of people really should know, but not everybody does. And it's not meant to be ugly. It's meant to help people. Like, why will silver go up even higher? A lot of people don't understand the actual why. So when you watch this video on why gold and silver is going to go higher, maybe even $200 sooner than you think, then you get the answers in these videos. And these videos are designed for people that can't sit through a 30-minute video of listening to me talk. Some people enjoy the long videos. Some people like short videos. And so I like doing both. I try to appeal to my audience by doing my longer videos in the morning, my short videos in the evening. And then sometimes if my views aren't there, if I look at my dashboard and I did not get enough views for the day, I'll throw up a little bit of a short video like I did last night. It was a simple little short video. Cooked a good dinner, thought it would be cool to show it. 20-second, 15-second clip. And some people watch that and they're like fascinated. They like my food videos. So that's how I put that stuff in there. And those little short 1-minute videos are designed for me to get my daily quota, essentially. So we'll see how that plays out, but definitely check out that series, The Fundamentals. Huge impact. You will have a whole different mindset by the time you're done watching them and once they're done being made. So great comment, Hothead. And like I said, the 15th is right around the corner. The 82 mark, I think you'll see 82, possibly even Monday. But maybe we won't see it until Wednesday. We'll see what happens. Okay. Mr. Happy Stacker 69, good morning. Us stackers will be rewarded. Hold fast, people. Disclaimer, though. I'm not a financial advisor. I do play one in the chat. All good. That's exactly what I like to say. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. What I talk about on here is just my opinion and not meant to be financial advice. However, it is my opinion, and my opinion is right sometimes. So thank you so much. Next one, thanks T. Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked the video. I'm glad you put that little comment in there. It just says thanks T, but that's the kind of comment that helps the algorithm because it's easy to reply to and it is right there. So thank you so much. Okay, let's see, John. Good video, T-Bird. The banks are supposed to unload up to $14 billion in silver between now and Thursday of next week. Unload silver. I'm wondering if that is going to be they're supposed to unload short silver positions or long silver positions, because I'm not convinced banks are going to unload physical silver. I'm not convinced that banks are going to unload their long positions on silver. I think it's more likely that banks are starting to realize that they are too short and that they're going to get punished pretty soon. And maybe even they could even be getting told, hey, if you want to borrow money from us, start unloading some of your silver positions and just let the price go up. If that's the case, that's going to be a prime reason why Wednesday, we might, I mean, if that happens, if they're unloading short positions, we could end up seeing it just ramp up even before Wednesday. But I expected a new all-time high by Wednesday, and then I expected a breakout within the next day or two to a new levels. New levels is in $90 possibly. Let's see, Sun, how's it going? Let's see, true investing is about, I hope this ain't one of them Telegram ones. I think it is, though. True investing is about consistency, risk management, and choosing the right assets that still hold value. Years down the line, patience and strategy matters more than speed. Absolutely. That's exactly what I would say when someone was in a asset that is not producing. But we'll see. We're going to see here. I've been following Hattie for a while. How Clear explains investing, no hype, no pressure, guidance. It's an advertisement for a person. It kind of drives me nuts when I see these, but on the flip side, they are views, but unfortunately these Telegram comments never really amount to them hitting the subscribe button. It would be great if these people would subscribe. All new accounts that only came up, they were only made up the other day. Let's just click on one just for the heck of it. Open a new tab. Today is January 9th. Let's see when this account was opened. More info. Created November 27th. Okay, so that one's not too new, but it's still fairly new. Not a mention about silver at all. Not even a question about silver or gold. But I guess it's a view. Bluetooth, what's up? I'm not really sure what to expect with all of that is going on worldwide, but I'm still stacking and not selling. Absolutely. I think that's going to put you in a good spot down the road. So we'll see what happens. Time will tell. That's the thing. Let's see. I would like to hear your in-depth thoughts on Nixon taking us off the gold standard and how it changed our country. I hope that you have a restful weekend. Thank you so much. I'm going to read these replies real quick, and then I'll read mine. I'll say mine. Although a thoughtful response, in depth, is probably going to be for a whole video and not just a kind of a comment, but we're going to get to it in just a minute here. A comment where I'll talk a little bit about it. People bring this up a lot, but most people don't talk about how getting off the silver standard was one of the catalysts for getting off the gold standard. After 1964, the U.S. Mint stopped producing 90% coins, which allowed the government to inflate the currency. After 1970, no more coins put into circulation contained any silver, which meant that the paper, that meant on paper, the amount in circulation is circulating with greater than gold backed it. Yep, but there is a trick to that too that a lot of people don't know about, and so we're actually going to briefly mention this because I thought about doing a whole video on this, because all the money that we had prior to 1964, there was still some money in circulation that was in circulation in the 1800s. Well, think about that for a minute. You might already know what I'm going to talk about here in just a second. And then maybe he should start in 64 and carry it all the way through 74. So, okay, so this is going to be really in depth, so I would probably have to make this into a video in order to talk about this. But the first thing I'm going to say is yes. Once Nixon took us off the gold standard, it allowed them to print. It made it to where there was no end to the amount of printing. Now, it doesn't mean they were going to come out on day one and print, but they had already recognized the problem. They've seen the problem play out in different countries. They've seen it play out over time. Very smart people that knew what was going on knew that if we took us off the gold standard, that was it. Now, you have to understand, though, in 1964, if we still had silver and money, if they had never taken silver out of the money, you could always just take down the road at any point, all the way up till today. If we never took silver out of the change, you could take your dollar and buy 4 silver quarters. And all of a sudden, that dollar, I mean, when you think about it, people wouldn't want them. They would only want to hold change. I mean, if you were given the opportunity to take your paycheck in silver coins or paper money, you would probably take the silver coins. And so by doing that, by getting rid of the silver, they knew that essentially they could control the money supply. Now, they forgot about the penny because copper started going up in price in the 80s, and essentially they ended up taking copper out of the pennies in 1982. But inflation wasn't at its worst at that point in time. Today, I believe inflation is even worse than it was back then. Now we're looking at having to get rid of the penny altogether because a zinc penny is worth more than a penny. A copper penny is worth way more than a penny. But there's something else that's worth even more that a lot of people aren't seeing, and that's the nickel. A lot of people want to cite, the nickel is 7.5 cents right now. And nickel is made up of 75% copper, 25% nickel. The problem is nickel is so heavily used in electronic EV vehicles that essentially it's ramping up. Electric vehicles are eating a lot of nickel. They eat a lot of copper. They eat a lot of silver. They eat a lot of elements. And you need nickel for a lot of different stuff that people don't really understand, like stainless steel. A lot of stuff uses nickel. I think, because I've been looking at nickels a little closer lately, I've been actually looking into something, wondering if they've secretly changed the nickel without telling anybody because they knew what it would cause if they did. However, I have since found out that no. Nickels are a copper core with a nickel copper overlay. So, a new nickel that has not been handled that much is going to have more nickel in it than an old nickel. That's why it looks so different, because there's more nickel involved. You don't see the copper yet. As it wears more, it exposes the copper a little bit more, and then you start seeing more and more copper, and you start seeing what the nickel really is. I think it's just a matter of time before they get rid of the nickel altogether. And when they do, people are going to be hoarding nickels like there's no tomorrow. Now, I think that they're learning from what happened with the penny that we need to be very careful about that, because if people were to take their paychecks now and just buy pennies outright, the material of what's in pennies, whether it be zinc or copper or a mixture of both, because there are, when you buy a roll of pennies now, you're going to find some copper pennies in there. I usually find anywhere from 4 to 6 if I was to look through a roll. I periodically do look at rolls. Obviously, bank rolls are going to have less copper pennies from what I've seen than customer wrapped rolls. But you never really know how that's going to play out, because right now, I don't believe they're actually separating them. But with the whole getting rid of the penny, I think that's why we're seeing less pennies in circulation, because I think they've already started. And they already have machines. Some of y'all know this. They have machines that use magnetic properties that separate out the pennies from the copper pennies from the zinc pennies, because of the magnetic properties between copper and zinc. If you roll a penny down a chute that's covered in magnets, both pennies will make it to the end. But one type of penny, I think it was the copper pennies, will just straight slide right through with no resistance, and they'll go further when they hit the end of the chute. Whereas the zinc penny, which will have some magnetic properties, speed will slow down, and the penny won't go as far down the chute. So once it gets to the end of the chute, will it go into bucket A, which is the first 8 inches, or will it go into bucket B, which might be put away, 9 inches or more? Now, I could be wrong on which is which. However, that is how them are set up. And like I said, I think they're already separating out the copper, because the government needs to build up a strategic stockpile, copper stockpile. I think someone is already accumulating them. Is it the Fed for the government, or is it the Fed for themselves? That's the thing I don't know. They are in the driver's seat because they have dibs over everything. That's why I said I wish Trump would just take over the Fed. Just literally just take it over instantly. I know some people would say, oh, they can't do that. You know what? Eminent domain, they can do whatever they want if they want to. But it will cause some problems. But eventually we put employees that are government employees. And then once we have that, then we take over the banking system. And home loans go through the new government bank. And all interest goes into the government. And little by little, we shut down these banks, start taking them over, buy them out. As they close down, let's be honest, how do banks make money? They make money by loaning. Well, if the government gives loans for a while that are low interest, if they have a savings account with them, means the dollars would transpose back into the government, their savings accounts. They would loan money out. Interest would stay in the government. And little by little, banks would start collapsing. As banks collapse, they don't collapse. They get bought out and taken over. All loans, all customers shift to the United States Bank. And little by little, we take over everything. All loans, all interest is paid to the United States government. Why do I want to see banks grow and prosper? I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Too big to fail? You know what? Fail. You fail, we take you over. But there's no rule you can't stay in. You can stay in business for as long as you can. You better have a good clientele. And fractional reserve banking will be out the window, in my opinion. And thus, that will be it. So, moving on to the next comments. I know that didn't answer everything, but to sum it up in short, Nixon taking us off the gold standard and getting rid of all the silver and the copper, getting rid of the silver out of the money, essentially made it to where they could print. It's a plan that's been in the making for a while, and it still is little by little happening. Eventually, they will put us on some sort of a central bank digital currency. It will not be Bitcoin, in my personal opinion, but it will be some sort of a crypto. Some people say, oh, no, they said they'll never do that. They can say whatever they want. I don't believe it. Eventually, they will do that, and it will be because of an emergency, like the dollar collapsing or something. We need to do this. And that's it. And people will beg for it. And they'll say something along the lines of, if we implement this policy, we can put money in your bank account right now, instantly, to help you survive. So we're going to give everybody a nice stimmy check. We're going to give everybody 2,000 central bank digital dollars, and boom, that's it. And then from there, it's going to be temporarily, and it's never going to go away. They're going to say temporary, just like federal income tax. Moving on to the next comment. Thank you for the video, T. I hope you feel better soon. So here's the thing. On the feel better yesterday, a lot of that feel better, I wasn't feeling good because I have a bad habit of having a hard time saying no. I always say yes. I always cave. And I ended up going out to eat all you can eat fajita meat along with other great stuff. And my butt ate at 9 o'clock at night probably 2 pounds of fajita meat plus a steak on the side plus the sides. And my stomach felt heavy all night to where I was just sweating. I don't know why. It was a little warm, but I think it was just my stomach was working so hard to process that steak that I was a little scared, to be honest. I was really thirsty, so there's obviously salt in some of the food that had more salt than I should have probably had. So I kept drinking water, which kept me just full. And so I didn't get sleep at all last night. Well, I shouldn't say last night, 2 nights ago. So that was the deal with it. But I mean, I feel better now, and I just have to be careful. I think eating too much steak now, too. Before it was stay away from carbs. Now it sounds like it's don't eat too much steak. I mean, darn, they don't want you eating nothing. No pasta, no spaghetti. Someone said I should be on like a carnivore diet. But I guess if I'm going to be on a carnivore diet, I don't just need to eat. But whenever it comes to steak and it's all you can eat, I like to get my money's worth. So I know this sounds bad, but it was my, it's a weakness for me to say no. Let's see. I got into this late, just over. Oh, good morning. What's up, Tyler? KM Tyler. Good morning. I got into this late, just over 2 years ago. Dollar cost average, $32, and still buying. Awesome. Someone else saying, Richard saying the same. And Mike saying, keep at it. I picked up 2 1-gram Volcambi bars this morning. Every little bit adds up. So be very careful picking up gold right now. We're seeing silver run, and we're not seeing gold run quite as fast. And so hopefully silver will keep going up, but who knows? I think we will see gold go up, but it won't go up as fast. And I think silver will continue to ramp up higher and higher. So think about that. If you're buying gold, how many ounces of silver can you get? I personally would still rather have more silver right now than gold. I wish I had never bought any gold, but unfortunately, I have a hard time saying no to a good deal, so I did pick up some gold here and there. Robert, good morning, T. Thank you so much, Robert. Thomas, hey, T. My kids laugh at me. I gave up on getting them interested in silver. Your opinion is right on with me. That's awesome. And then Richard saying same thing here. And then Thomas saying, hey, T, my own kids laugh at me. I gave up on getting... Oh, I copied the comment. Said the comment again. And then same. The whole thing got copied twice. I wonder why that is. Because there was one 15 hours ago, and then someone else copied again 16 hours ago. But I guess it just doubled up the comments. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to get kids into it. You have to almost get them into it at a young age and get them excited about it. My son is excited. Sometimes, though, he buys high premium stuff. He's looking for the Call of Duty or the Fortnite ounces. They're like $165 an ounce. I would never, ever, ever pay that. But I do keep my eyes open for them because sometimes people sell their collections at these high dollar amounts and they don't really care. Like when you sell to a refinery, The refinery doesn't care what's on it. They most of the time are just going to melt that stuff down. I do have one in where I end up getting lucky and get to pick stuff that's going to be melted down. And so I do sometimes pick up some really cool stuff for myself and for other people. So that's a nice little perk. That's why sometimes you'll see some antique stuff. Sometimes you'll see cool stuff that I can't afford to pick up. I hear people say, "Oh, you need to save that. You need to save that. You need to stop that from getting melted down." I can't afford to keep everything from being melted down. I see too much stuff over the course of, and that's why I show videos of some of this stuff so y'all can see it. Even though I know the outcome is not going to change, but it allows you guys to see some really cool antique silver. Let's see. Bitcoin won't fit into my safe. Absolutely. Technically, Bitcoin won't go into anybody's safe because it's just digital. It's fictitious. I certainly wouldn't want any in my safe. I guess if someone was giving it away, I'd take it. But, hey, buddy, I got some silver for $15 under spot. I hid it behind a dumpster. Come on, the water's fine. Okay, so this is funny. I actually laughed when I'd read this the first time this morning. This was a part of the comment when I had said that someone had offered me some silver if I wanted to meet up. It was in an email. If I wanted to meet up with him, he's got some silver for $5 under spot. And I said in a comment, there are deals out there, but you need to be careful. You need to, one, know that you're looking at real silver. You need to, two, know that you're not being set up. Meet someone in a public place. I've even seen people meet up for sales at a police station, right in front of the police station, or a place that has a lot of cameras, security. I met up with one guy at a mall one time, and I said, we got to meet in the food court. And he's like, I don't want to go in the mall. And I'm like, why? He didn't want to go in the mall. He did not want to either. He wanted me to walk out to a parking lot, one car in a parking lot, all the way on the outskirts of the parking lot. And I was like, yeah, I ain't doing that. You need to come in. And I ended up meeting him pretty much right near the entrance of the mall. And then he went back to the parking lot, and I went further in the mall. And I had already had all the entrances and exits to the mall. I knew where I was going. And I knew if anybody was following me, how I was going to make sure that I wasn't followed when I left there. So, yeah, you got to be careful. There's a lot of ins and outs. But you also have to understand, there are a lot of people that it's legit. They just want to dump their silver because they need money. I mean, we've all been there. We've all had something come up. And this time of the year, taxes are due. Property taxes are pretty much due for everybody at the end of this month. So there are people that don't have the money to pay their taxes, and they've got to end up selling something. So, I understand there are deals out there. You just have to be careful on how you meet up with people. So that's why he had made the comment. I got some silver sitting behind. It's 15 under spot. It's behind the dumpster. Come on back there and bring your cash. Yeah, you just got to be mindful of what's going on. Let's see here. Nice video. Wants to go down up for some reason. Nice video. Thank you so much, Swamp Boy. I hope you have a great day. John, what's this crypto Trump's pushing? I don't have crypto. And how will that affect metals? I don't know what the latest crypto is that Trump's pushing. I'll have to look that up. They've pushed so many. They've pushed Ivanka coin. They've pushed Trump coin. They've pushed a lot of different coins. And when it comes out, people all want to jump on it. And usually you see it flop back to nothing. I will stay away from crypto, period. The only ones that usually make out are the people that get into it early on. So I don't want nothing to do with crypto. How will it affect? I don't think cryptos are really even going to affect silver at this point. Silver is on fire. Cryptos, people are getting scared. It's not holding up its ground. Taking a look at Bitcoin right now. 90,000. Take a look at the chart 5 days it's down 3.5%. 1 month it's down 2.25%. 6 months it's down 18.5%. Year to date it's up, but year to date's only 10 days. Over the last year it's down 3.5%. Now obviously if I go further back, I mean, it started out at zero. It started out worthless. They get more and more people on the bandwagon. It does go up. But the problem is these people, it's like a cult. They're not selling. They have no intent on selling. And so who knows? We'll see, how this is going to play out. I don't think it's going to end well, though. So who knows? Let's see. Lost my spot right there for a minute. It just jumped down by itself. Okay. Still climbing. I told a lot of people, but almost nobody listened. One of my friends did buy 1,000 shares of SILJ at $15.12. I did get to one person. Now, I do not even bother to discuss their loss. Yeah, I've tried to help a lot of people. Some I've got to, and some I haven't. And, I've got some friends that are huge into it. And then I've got some that, they regret it, but they know, they think now it's too late. And even if I try to tell people I don't believe it's too late, they just don't know what to think now. They can't fathom that silver can go up to $200. But I think the foundation's being built. We had a long time to build a solid foundation, and we're seeing it play out now. The house is being built. And as this house is being built, this is your house. This is your future. And unfortunately, a lot of people are just going to miss it. And, hey, you're going to have some of these people that are going to come back to you. I had one person come back to me, and he said, "Hey, T, I got a question for you, bro. You remember those ounces of silver that you had for like $35 that you had gotten a bunch of them, and you were looking to maybe sell half of them to your friends? Do you still have any of them for $35?" And I almost have to laugh. It's hard to even keep a straight face when I get asked that, because the first thing I just want to say is stupid. But at the end of the day, I mean, there are people that just don't understand. Like I would buy something and not pay attention to it, or speak about something and not follow it. So I know it's not $35 anymore. I said, I sold the majority of them. You should have bought them while you had the chance. I know guys that are still selling them. And they answer, "Oh, do you? Can you hook me up with some?" I said, "Yeah, but the problem is now they're asking like $80, $82. Oh, shoot. Why so much?" I said, "Do you follow what's going on in the world?" People just don't understand. Now, you were lucky to get one person in. Now, you did say 1,000 shares of SILJ. I don't know. Obviously, that must be some sort of a paper share or a stock. I'm sure it's probably up a lot, which is good. It's probably involves silver. I don't know what SILJ is, if it's SLV, if it's paper shares or what. I'm guessing it's some kind of a mining stock, which maybe they went up some. I'm sure it did. Let's see. SILJ. SILJ stock. Right here. Amplified Junior Silver Miners ETF. Sitting currently at $30.56. And that person bought in at $15, so they've done pretty well. Scroll back 5 days, scroll back a month, scroll back 6 months. You probably got them into it roughly 6 months ago, by the looks of it. It's been slow and steady climbing. Looks like they got into it, and it looks like it's doing really well. I mean, it's essentially doubled for them in just 6 months. So they've made out 100% profit in 6 months. A great purchase on that, I guess. I always worry about I would rather have physical ounces, but in 6 months, silver has done pretty well too. And so, who knows? I can't complain. The fact that they are going to be affected by silver is a good thing. So yeah, it would have been nice if the person had bought in physical, but some people just don't. And it's hard. It's always going to be hard to get some people in. Nice video. Okay, we already read that. The crypto that Trump's pushing. Thanks, T. Great video. To be honest, I don't think stackers from retail side can even move the needle. Only large institutional purchases in the thousands or millions of ounces move the needle, even on a daily basis. Retail selling their silver is just an excuse for them to claim they're not manipulating. So yes and no. I know a couple people that sell to the refiners. That is what they do. They buy the stuff, they sell it up, it gets sent up to the refiners. One of them, literally, he works directly for the refiner. And he is taking stuff in Houston and moving it up, and then it gets melted down from their main office. Refined down into bars, rounds, whatever the case may be. I see when prices explode to new all-time highs, more people want to sell. As it hits that high a couple times, the selling slows down. I personally believe it does move the needle. Does it move the needle a lot? No. But does it move the needle? Does it affect? Yes. And obviously big companies, they need physical silver. Here's the thing. When people stop selling to these places, what do you think happens? When the refineries dry up because no one's selling to them, what do you think they do? They can't just sit there. Generally, I think when the refineries stop getting stuff in from everyday people, I think they move the needle up. And they know that if they move the needle up by $10, that there'll be a whole new batch of people that are willing to sell at 90. As of right now, I wouldn't even consider selling my silver for under $100. So, who knows? We'll see how that plays out. Let's see. Discussing silver, the devil's metal. Many people are jealous. You got to be in it to win it. I am enjoying this amazing ride, still climbing. Yes, you got to be in it to win it. And a lot of people are going to be jealous because the profits are being made and they're wishing maybe they had listened. And some of those people, that jealousy is going to be closer to you than you think. So you need to be careful now what you say when the price goes up. I've contemplated and just stopped telling people, period. Well, what did you ever do with, you said, I thought you were stacking and you believed in it. I was, and then it hit $75 and I sold every ounce I owned. Why? Because it was $75. I didn't want nothing to do with it. And I got a whole bunch of fiat dollars, put it in the bank, and yeah, I regret my decision now that silver is at 80. But it is what it is. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe it will come back down. And then they're saying something like, yeah, I'm thinking about buying in now. You fool, you should have bought in when it was 20. You heard about it when it was 20. But some people don't understand. Good morning, T. Looking forward to a great video. I hope you feel better soon. Thank you so much. Like I said, the feel better was... Oh, are we already at the end? Ooh, I think we're almost at the end. Yeah, the feel better was just I ate more than I should have. Don't be fooled with a little congratulations or excitement. Yes, we are almost at 80, so it's definitely exciting. And Reckless Collection, morning tea, thank you so much. Hope you have a great day. And I think that concludes all of our comments. Christian Love, nice video, thank you. I'm just kind of taking a quick look. Making sure. Yep, that's everything. Boom. We covered it all. We got all the comments covered. That's pretty much going to conclude the video as we go into the weekend. starting off this Saturday morning with silver sitting at $80 an ounce. And I think some people just are going to be surprised what happens next week. I hope a lot of you guys are maybe looking around for the weekend, trying to go places, find some deals. There are deals out there to be found. I kind of like 90% silver right now because a lot of places are letting it go super cheap. Consider if you have a collectible ounce, that maybe you're willing to let that collectible ounce go, and maybe you can get a generic ounce, and even a silver quarter would be a huge gain in silver. I used to. So I don't talk too much about this. I've said it in videos. I used to end up picking up a lot of stuff on the side of the road. Around trash day or bulk pickup day, I would go out and drive around and pick up little odds and ends. One time I picked up 2 kids' bikes that they were throwing away. And I'd even asked the person was outside. I said, "You tossing these bikes?" "Yep." So I said, "Okay, I'm going to take them." And they said, "Oh, they're great bikes. The kids just outgrew them, so we don't want them anymore, so we're just getting rid of them." I said, "Oh, okay, thank you." And I took it to a friend of mine who has a resale shop, and he looked at them, and I knew he had silver too. And I said, "Look, how you feel about giving me 10 silver dimes for them?" I said, "I know you got a bunch of dimes. Maybe if you want to throw me 10 mercury dimes or something." He goes, "I don't really want to do that because the dimes are real popular, but a lot of people don't like the quarters. How about I give you 6 silver quarters?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can do that. What would you rather have, 10 dimes or 6 quarters?" Silver quarters, nonetheless. I said, "Yeah, I'll take the 6 silver quarters. That's fine with me. I'm just going to throw it in a cup and just hang on to it." Well, now those 6 silver quarters, that's an ounce of silver. That's $90 for 2 of those bikes that I picked up on the side of the road that were kids' bikes. You could probably buy a brand new bike for $90. I don't know what kids' bikes go for anymore for little kids. But definitely it was a good deal. So I pick up a lot of stuff when I can, and I do barter a lot of stuff. I pick up sometimes cords by the road. I actually went to a yard sale one time. I found a whole box of extension cords, all workable extension cords, but the person told me $5 for the whole box. And I said, "Well, I was looking at that picture frame." I said, "Will you throw the picture frame in too? And I'll do 5. I don't really need him, but what the heck." And the person said yes. Just those extension cords, the fact that they're number 2 copper, I could probably pull $20 for all that copper. I mean, the box is pretty heavy. You're talking 25-foot, 50-foot extension cords. That adds up. And then one, I don't know, looked like a little, what do they call it? Like a 120 cord. So, I'm sorry, not 120, 240 cord is what I meant to say. So yeah, you can find some really good deals. Definitely keep your eyes open over the weekend. Don't be afraid to negotiate. I always say that. Don't be afraid to negotiate. If the price seems high, you can walk away. There will be other deals. Don't get baited into the, "Oh, well, I hear," and I heard someone say this to me once, and it drove me nuts. I heard someone say, "Hey, I hear on YouTube that they're saying that silver could go to like $50 at some point." That's what a pawn shop told me. This is way back. This is back when silver was $29. I said, "Okay, you've been watching too many YouTubers, obviously. Everybody thinks they're a financial expert." I said, "But let's look at what the price is now. The price now is $30. I said, "I'm not paying $50 for something that might go to $50 down the road." And the guy's like, "Oh," he said, "well, you never know what it could do." I said, "You're right, I don't. But I got to go by what it costs today. I'm not paying $50 for something for $30. But I ended up getting a good deal on it. And you can find deals. I remember when silver hit 29, I ended up going to a pawn shop, and they had a bunch of silver. And the guy said, "Yeah, if y'all want, I'll go down to 29 if y'all want to get it." And I had split it with a buddy of mine because I didn't have enough to buy it. But I said, "Yeah, we'll take it for 29. I told my buddy, I said, "Do you want to go half on it?" He said, "Yeah, I'll go half with you. If you think it's a good deal, I'll go half." I said, it's worth the money. I said, we can't go wrong. I said, so he's like, I'm just going to give you my cash and you can pay it. He said, I got to give you the cash when we stop at the bank on the way back. And I said, that's fine. And I told the guy, I said, okay. I said, just out of curiosity, will you take credit? He said, yeah, I don't care how you pay. And I was like, cha-ching. I get to earn those reward points too. Most places they want to charge you a fee, but not all of them if you look around. So with that being said, I think I'm going to wrap up here. Can't believe I never did find that that one post that I was looking for at the very beginning of the video. I was hoping that I would have found it. It was the my silver versus our silver for the very first comment. I'm scrolling down real quick to see if I can find it one more time. Let's see what this one is. These ones are always funny. So you own no silver, but are excited about your stock market gains. As the US dollar falls straight into the toilet. Yeah, a lot of people just don't really understand what's going on. They see the gains in their portfolio, but they don't understand how quick that can be washed away. Man, it was here last night. I remember reading it. That must be Klaus Schwab. $75. Yeah, I had read a comment this morning. I don't know. It was on a different video, obviously, where someone had said I was holding out for sub $70 silver or sub $65 silver, but I'm starting to realize that's not coming. So I'm raising my bar to looking for silver under $70. Here's the thing. I don't even think we're going to see under $70 again. I think that's it. Sub 70 days are already over. I think we're going to see it really start breaking out sooner than people think. And once it breaks out, that's it. Boom, you can see it right here. Another pattern. This was a bullish chart for the next move to... Okay. So this was the $73, $74. So this was actually posted 8 days ago. We have since climbed a lot higher, but you can see as it gets beat down and then all of a sudden you just see that huge pop up. I think that pattern is pretty well playing out right now. Let's see, some nice collections there. That's a nice collection right there. A lot of good stuff. Just wanted to post a pic of my collection, and it has grown over the years. Nice. Physical silver in Japan, 130. Physical silver in, I don't know where that is, if that's Iran. Someone's going to correct me and be like, dude, you need to learn your flags. 115. Physical silver in China, 110. Oh, the COMEX paper price sitting at 71, but now we're at 80. I mean, think about this. This was only posted 9 days ago. 9 days ago, you could have picked up silver at the $71 range. Now we're in the $80 range. I mean, people just don't get it, and they're just going to find out the hard way. What's this? Zimbabwe becomes the first African country to take mining taxes in Chinese yuan. Interesting. Must be old silver. I like that. That's funny. They're looking at the silver, the Mexican silver mines. Yeah, they've got a lot of silver in Mexico, so we'll see what happens. Just kind of scrolling through at this point. The video's over. At this point, I'm just kind of reading through. But see if there's anything else we can talk about. Oh, someone just subscribed. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I don't know who it was right now because I'm not really there watching it. the Shanghai Exchange, the LBMX, battling it out over the price of silver. And that's it. So actually, I'm going to end the video here. I don't want it to get too long, but definitely check out these sound short video clips of essentially fundamentals of silver and gold. I think it's important that people watch it and really understand what's going on. And we'll continue to put these episodes up. I think I'll get a couple up over the weekend. And with that being said, I'm going to wrap up here. Philip, thank you so much for subscribing. And please click on one of these hyperlink videos and check out one of these other great videos. Only an hour and a half today. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys again this evening, again tomorrow morning, and then hopefully again tomorrow night. We do videos every day of the week right now. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. It's going to be fun. I might even go live maybe one day if I can this weekend. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.